we're going to race. Welcome to this episode of Heartbreak Garage, and we're back with the Escort. Can't wait. So I've been really busy, so the Escort had to go on the back burner with all the racing and the Range Rover breaking down and all the other stuff I had to do. So what have we got to do? Well, the welding's done and the seats are in, things are happening. Also, I managed to move the van from work back home as work's getting a bit hectic. So on the way home, the alternator belt flew off, so I had to get a new one of them, so we'll put that on. We've got the stuff I bought earlier, which I've already spoken to you about, the biased valves. We need to mount them and do the brake pipes. Then we need to get onto the electricals. So you've already seen this. This is my maxi fuse, which I'm going to use to protect the van from if anything should go wrong, like things. We don't want any fire or any of that business. So other things I've got are the finest quality Chinesium start button and ignition switch, because I need to be able to start it and the keys don't work really good, and I need to fit central lock in and use one of these. Plus I'll be putting a hidden or two hidden immobilizer switches in, because obviously I can't tell the whole of the world or YouTube exactly how to start it, but this will be the main, and then there'll be hidden items in there anyway. So Chinesium. We've also got one of these, this little switch panel, because my switches with the elements being in there, and things are expensive for Escorts, and I ain't kidding, so I don't want to be doing that. So I got that'll do me hazards. Got some lights and work lights and interior lights and bits and bobs, so we'll see exactly what I need and think about mounting that somewhere. I got one of these as well, to be able to, you know, do the business, and if I want to work on it I can just isolate it. Seeing as I'm doing it myself, I thought I might as well put an isolator on there. So nice isolation switch there, which we're going to mount. We've also got to decide where to put the battery. Now I've been thinking about it, do I want it in the back, do I want it in the original spot, this, that and the other. I do want to run a slightly bigger battery because there's not much room under the bonnet of that Escort where they put it, so I'm thinking about running it in the back of the van, and that suits me because the battery I've got won't fit under the bonnet anyway. So I got this battery. It's a Bosch one. Bosch, so only the finest. It's a 780 amp 777 amp hour 12 volt battery, and I chose this battery for a couple of good reasons. One, I had it and it works and it's a good battery, and it came off another car and it's free, so that's two reasons. I had it and it's free. Third reason, it's a good one and it works, so that works, and it's got a handle on it to help me move it around with ease. So they're the reasons why I chose this battery. Primarily it's free, so there we go. Excellent. So now we've been through all that, we can grab our coffees and go and do some work on the van. If it don't fit, don't force it. The van has made it home from the workshop under its own steam, and the workshop was getting a bit full, so I had to bring it home, but we're almost there now. I've got some perfect handmade fake grass carpeting for floor mats, which I'm liking, but I've got a distinct lack of ignition, which I just showed you, so we're going to have to decide where we're going to put some of this stuff. Now I've got this Chinesium start thingamabob, so I was wondering if I could pull the ashtray out maybe, and you know, put it in there somehow like that, so you know, ignition, start, I'll put some kind of other switch gear somewhere that's like an immobilizer. Also, like I showed you, we got the old biased valves, and I'm thinking I'm gonna have one there. Just get the other one out, and you know, one there with the biased valves, you know, like a right and left situation. Left, right, more pressure, less pressure. You know, the alternator bolt flew off whilst I was driving at home. I've also want to put a battery disconnect in, which I think I'm going to mount down there, so we can have that as well. And I'll show you how to wire up the main battery disconnect without losing your radio code. We've also got my big maxi fuse doodah for safety. So I've got to make some decisions on where I'm going to put the battery. Am I going to keep it under the bonnet? Am I going to keep it in the back? Also, none of the it's not operating, doesn't work. So rather than pull it all apart and just whatever, I'm going to bide my time and find another one. But until then, I've got a switch panel here that I can use for things, interior lights and stuff, make that happen. A friend of mine gave me this. It was rescued out of one of his off-road vehicles, because I don't think the hazard light warning switch, so I've got a hazard light warning switch there, some outside lights and interior lights and shit. We can mount all that off and make it work. Then we've just got to do the brake pipes, and then it's MOT time. I can't actually believe it, we're actually getting close. So, you know, mount a few of these bits and bobs down here. I quite like them down there, or here or wherever, and you know, we'll go from there. So there's the alternator there, and it does work, and there's the crank there, but the belt's gone missing. Also, there's a leak on the exhaust which smoked me right out on the way home, so we need to sort that out. I don't know whether it's the exhaust or whether it's just blowing in through the seal somewhere. So anyway, got to put this alternator bolt on. Right, so we had a dodgy wire under the bonnet which was stopping the glow plugs from working, so we just fixed that. So now I'm fixing up the ignition wires, stick that in there, and then touch this on here. Vibrate-y, them gearbox mounts are quite hard, but we got an alternator again, so now we can carry on with the rest of the operation. Men. So before we go too far along with anything else, let me just connect my ignition up. These two spade connectors here on these wires. There we go. Right, so, oh, we got indicatorage. Oh, we got an indicator out, we've got to sort that. We got headlight and main beam flashing away. The windscreen wipers are working, I just got to install them, so I think that's going to be my next job. Oh, and I got that working, but I need to get the juice, the water coming out of the nozzles. They don't come out because the pipe's not connected, so I've got to do that as well. So windscreen wipers and windscreen washers and an indicator. one window wiper on, second one to do. I'm down to my dad's to use his lathe and his mill, and I've got this piece of aluminium stock, round stock, and I need to make some spaces because I want to bolt my bias adjusters together in the van and then bolt them down. But if I bolt them together, the knobs interfere with themselves and I don't want any knobs interfering, so I got to make some spaces. Alright, see you in a minute. Now there's no exact science to this, I'm just going to whack my scale up on there, on the edge of the cutter, and measure 20mm. They're only spacers, there's no real science here. There we have them. Couple of little spacers, perfect. Right, so after a little bit of playing around in my dad's workshop, thanks Dad, I've got some bits now. I've made 2 spacers, 2 brackets out of some stuff that Griff gave me, some angle iron, one of my mates, and I've got my adjusters. So we're going to assemble it all now, and I've left my pliers somewhere. One second. So we're going to assemble our bracket for our braking system. So we've got these nice nuts with the old toothy grip things on the back, so we're going to use a couple of those on them. This is just a bit of all thread that I found, and we've got to make sure that these are, so out is towards the back. I'm going to put a spacer on, and then there's out that way, and then we're going to put that one on, and get that going on there. Great. So that's not the best. Okay. Must be a bit of a bear going on there, so we'll just tighten that up to where we want it. Oh, mint. Yeah, a bit more. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, things are happening. I'm going to spin them on. Yeah. Mint. And get this piece of bar. Oh yeah. Would help if I got a 10mm. So there we have it, we've got our bias adjuster valve bracket thing, doodah, mint. So we're going to whack him on the van now, and my plan is I want to locate all my braking stuff and all my electrical stuff before I wire it, and then I'll run everything because I don't want anything to interfere with anything. So yeah, perfect. More pressure, less pressure, less pressure, more pressure. Mint. There we go. Brake bias adjusters, just going to drill them down, and I'm going to use some drill screws, and then once I'm satisfied, I'm going to use drill screws and everything, and once I'm satisfied then I'll go around with riv nuts and riv nut them all in. Ain't no sense in wasting riv nuts before you know where you riv nut in. So yeah, I'll do that now. Mint. Oh yeah, check that out. Just need to put brake pipes to them now. Mint. Now we're gonna get this item in wherever I decide to put it in its final resting place. So there we have it. We've got them mounted in. We've got my kill switch mounted in, and I got my maxi fuse holder in between the seats. Mint.